Hi everyone, and welcome to my Feline Friday.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So my name is Doctorate. I'm a small animal general practitioner. I have this channel which I am host for your viewing enjoyment related to pets and pet related questions. And so I entertain your questions. As long as they're not medical advice questions, we kind of hang out, and this is a judgment-free zone. We're here to learn, we're here to be respectful for one another and understand that everybody's on different levels of their learning curve. And so today what we're doing, because you've joined me on Feline Friday, is we're doing some feline-friendly specific content. And so I have searched for some feline-friendly options that meet the parameters, because this channel, although we're open to talking about any foods, a lot of the food requests that I get are for dogs, and a lot of the requests that I have gotten for cats just seem to fall short of the mark. And so in order to give you guys some good options and not make it seem like there's no good options out there, which is totally not true, I've decided for the next couple weeks to host these Feline Friday bonus episodes. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you one of the brands that I found that hopefully you will enjoy. I think it's a budget-friendly brand that had some feline-friendly options. And so today what we're going to be talking about is Iams. And so Iams has been around for a long time. It's part of the Mars, the Mars Corporation. I don't know if that is considered part of the big kibble or big whatever, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is now. I don't know. I honestly don't get wrapped up in all that stuff. To me, what is important is the numbers. And so that's what we're going to be discussing today. I actually, when I was coming up with this channel, just emailed a bunch of companies and said, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for. Do you have it or don't you? And I actually did this through the chat. And so you can see here on this window, if you go to iams.com, you'll see it's the traditional green with Iams with the little dog thing. It's the logo they've had forever. They've got this little chat. And when you do the chat, I think you can talk to a veterinary technician. And so I was talking to her and I said, look, I'm a veterinarian. This is what I'm looking for. Do you have it? And she said, well, it's going to take me a little bit of time to go through the portfolio, but I will get back to you. And she did, and she totally delivered. And so she provided to me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options that we're going to go through maybe not all 9 because some of them don't exactly meet, but a good number of options that we're going to be going through. Let's say 3. We're going to go through 3. So she gave me 3 great options that met the parameters that I asked her for. And so what did I ask her for? I asked her for everything that is on the Dr. A's pet food scoring system. And so are these the only parameters that matter? Absolutely not. Are these a good first place to start looking? I think they absolutely are. And so that's what we're going to be using today. You can use this scorecard, and you can play along as we go through some of the feline-friendly options based on my criteria by Iams. So the first one that we are going to look at is the Iams Proactive Health Adult Hairball Care Dry Cat Food with Chicken and Salmon Formula. So let's pull that up. So there's the package, long-haired cat, of course. What we're going to do is we're going to evaluate this on the pet food scoring system. So we're going to look for all the parameters, and then I'm going to supplement with the parameters that are not listing with the numbers that she provided for me. So the first thing we want to do is make sure it's not grain-free or raw. Why do we do that? It's not appropriate for the general population. I think there is a right way that it can be done. I think that needs to be discussed with your veterinarian, and if at all possible, if you want to feed a raw diet or a home-cooked diet or anything like that, you really should have that formulated by a board-certified veterinary nutritionist. There are plenty out there. I've got some links in the description box if you expand it that have links where you can search one out in your area. And for the amount of money that a lot of people spend on some of these boutique foods or just randomly collecting ingredients on their own, you can actually get a board certified nutritionist to tell you the appropriate way to do it and maybe utilize some ingredients that are important to you. So that's a separate issue. We're not doing that today, and so they get 2 points as long as they're not grain free and they're not raw. So this food is not grain free or raw, so we're going to automatically be starting with 2 points. So I'm gonna write this here. I didn't actually score this food. I just looked at some of the basic parameters. So I don't know what the final score is gonna be, but I do know that the final score is going to be something that I think you guys are gonna be happy with. So that's 2 points right there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go through some of the other parameters in the pet food scoring system. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the AFCO statement. They don't have the exact AFCO statement listed, but I can tell you that these foods are formulated. These were not feeding trialed. If you find something different, let me know. But what they're saying is Iams indoor weight and hairball care with CMM cat food is complete and balanced for maintenance. You do not need to add vitamins or mineral supplements. If you have a kitten, pregnant, or nursing cat, we recommend feeding Iams kitten food. And so this is the correct life stage. This is for adult cats. They're saying here it is complete and balanced. You do not have to add anything to this. We've talked about this before. If you take a complete and balanced diet and you add things to it, you're actually unbalancing it. Yes, you can say to yourself, well, I would love to have more vitamin E here. So I'm going to add a bunch of XYZ in here that has vitamin E, and that's going to do the job. Well, by adding excessive amounts of vitamin B, you may be inhibiting vitamin A. And so it's very difficult, and that's again why I recommend some of these board certified nutritionists if you want to do one of these diets where you put in what you want, because everything has to work together. It's not as simple as I'll just add a vitamin, or I'll just add blueberries, or I'll just add XYZ. It doesn't work that way. I know we want it to work that way, and I know there are a lot of other people on the internet that are oversimplifying things and maybe making you believe that you can do that. But in reality, you cannot do that. There's more that goes into pet food than just picking ingredients and mashing them together. There are issues with bioavailability, etc. And so just like they're saying, this food is complete and balanced. You don't need to add anything to it. If you add something to it, you actually might be doing more harm than good by unbalancing a balanced diet. And so they're going to get another point here for this being the correct life stage, but they're not going to get a point because it was not feeding child. Now I want to go into, let's do the feeding guide. Cats are pretty easy, 200 to 300 calories per day for a 12-pound cat. So they're saying 3/4 of a cup. Each cup, if we find the calories, is 329. So yes, that's going to be correct. 329 times 0.75, 246. So we're going to get a point there. So now we're up to 4 points as we get into what you've all been waiting for, which is the guaranteed analysis. So we're going to pull up small animal clinical nutrition numbers. These numbers are not AFCO. I get asked that a lot. AFCO is very wide range. They are more concerned with making sure that there are not deficiencies. A lot of AFCO requirements don't have any upper limits. And we know that there is an ideal range. If you overshoot that range, it's not more better. No, it's not more better. There is a point where it becomes deleterious. And so that's why we use numbers from small animal clinical nutrition. They're on a dry matter basis, and they are tailored to finding what is the true ideal minimum and what is the true ideal maximum. And then I'm sharing those with you so that we can find a food that falls in that range. And so let's pull up that chart from small animal clinical nutrition. The adult cat. You guys see here in the background another graphic that's alluding to another video maybe next week for you guys. So if you're watching this and wondering what that is, it's a little sneak peek on something I'm working on for you. All right, so ideally, all these parameters should be switched to a dry matter basis. There's moisture in here. And so when you remove the moisture from these guaranteed analysis, these numbers will shift up slightly. This moisture here is 10% max. Now, I didn't do the calculations because I know by looking at them, we're gonna be okay, but I did get the calcium and phosphorus on a dry matter basis because that was the question that I asked her, and that's the information that she provided. So for the cat, you can see the ideal ranges here on this black and white chart, and then you see the ranges that were provided by Iams. And so let's go through those. Okay, so protein between 30 and 45, we're going to be okay because it's a minimum of 30, and there's very little chance that we're going to be going over 45, and this is a minimum, so we won't be going under. So that's a check on that for the protein. Fat at 11, we want between 10 and 30. Again, it's going to be no less than 11, and so we're going to be fine on that one. That's going to bring us up to a 6. Fiber at 8.3%. We want it to be less than 5. They're actually going to lose a point there. The reason why this is high in fiber, this is a hairball formula, and so that extra fiber is going to help push hairballs down. So they do lose that point there, but there is a reason for that, and I'm totally okay with that reason. So they don't get a point for the fiber, so we're still going to be at a 6. Now we get into the minerals, and this is what I was focusing on and what I will be focusing on in the next few videos for Feline Friday. That's the mineral content. Minerals are very important. It costs a company a lot of money and time and resources to make sure minerals are correct. You will find a lot of companies do not pay attention to minerals because what they want to do is give the consumer what they want, which is more meat. And the more meat you put into a product, the more money it's going to cost you to get the minerals in an acceptable level. And if the consumer is not asking for that, the companies are not interested in delivering that. And so Iams has paid particular attention to this, and it makes me very happy, and I hope it makes you happy too. Calcium on their chart on a dry matter basis, calcium on their chart on an as-fed basis is 0.75. On a dry matter basis, it is 0.97, which is within the reference range that we're looking at, 0.6 to 1. So they're going to get a point for the calcium. The phosphorus they're listing here as 0.65. When we do the conversion on this to a dry matter basis, it's actually 0.89. And so a little bit, tiny bit, a tenth over on the phosphorus, but somebody asked me before, if it's a 10th off, are you going to deduct them? And I said no. And so if we don't even give them a point for that, this formulation is going to score a 4, 5, 6, 7, which I think is still good. I would give them a point for the phosphorus because, again, I'm not going to deduct for a 10th off, even if we round up. This would put this at a 8. So I think a very good option for you. Especially if you have a cat that has hairball issues, because that little bit of a fiber missing to me is not a big deal. If you have a cat with hairballs, you may even add that point back in and make this a 9. So that's the first option. Second option I have to offer for you, and actually let's check price. Do they have price here? Because yeah, you can hit buy now. Oh no, where did buy now go? Yeah. So the 16-pound bag is $2.13 a pound. I did a survey a while back saying, what would be budget friendly for you guys, and the majority of you said if it was around $2. So I feel like this falls in the budget friendly option. So the 16-pound bag is going to cost you $33.98. I know you can get Iams in the grocery store. I know you can get it at PetSmart. I know you can obviously get it online at Chewy. So I think it's readily available, and I think it could be a good option. Let's see. The next option that I have to offer up to you is going to be the Iams Proactive Health Indoor Weight Control and Hairball with chicken and turkey. These are all dry. They did not have any canned options. If you are interested in a canned option for your cat, you can check out my Tiki Cat video where I do exclusively canned varieties, but Iams did not have any canned options that fell into the reference ranges that we wanted, so I do not have any Iams options for you today. So again, very similar package. On this one, it is again a hairball care. It is a weight management, which means it's probably going to be lower in calorie. Again, not grain-free or not raw, so they're going to get that. Let's go down to the AFCO statement. It's not exactly the AFCO statement, but the kind of AFCO statement. Iams Indoor Weight and Hair Care Cat Food is complete and balanced for maintenance for adults. Do not add vitamins or minerals not appropriate for kittens or pregnant. So they're going to get a point there. Feeding guide. Let's see how this one stacks up. 3/4 of a cup, so they're sticking with the 3/4 of a cup there. This one's only 302 kcal, so yes, it is less calories, so they're going to get a point there. That feeding guide is correct, bringing us up now again to a 4 as we get into the guaranteed analysis. So pulling back up the cat chart. Again, very consistent. Protein, let me pull up her numbers here. Okay. Protein at 30 is nicely situated at the low end of the reference range. It will be a little bit more than 30 when you do the conversion to a dry matter basis, but for our purposes, that is going to get a point. Fat at 11 is going to also get a point Fiber a little bit higher again with that hairball and the weight control, so you're not going to get the point for fiber, but I will tell you a lot of cats do perfectly fine with higher fiber, and I do find that I have to add fiber to a lot of cat diets, so that doesn't make me mad, and so we'll evaluate that in totality at the end. But that's the fiber issue there. And now we get into the minerals. They're listing 0.75 on an as-fed basis. When you do the dry matter basis, what they provided to me was 0.98 on the calcium. So again, we're falling in the reference range. We're going to get a point there. And then the phosphorus is being listed at 0.65. When you do the conversion, it's 0.86. And so they're going to get a point there because, again, we're not deducting for 100th off. So that's going to bring this up to a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. 9 if you don't mind about the fiber. So that was the weight control version. Cost-wise, let's go again. Take it to the Chewy. The 16-pound bag, very consistent, same price. $2.13 a pound, $33.98 if you buy it once. It's cheaper if you have it on auto ship. All right, let's get into the last one. Where was it? Where was my last one? The last one is the Iams Healthy Enjoyment Chicken and Beef Recipe. It's a fancy name. Healthy Enjoyment. You can see how the names, the marketing in the names, Healthy Enjoyment. We're going to be evaluating the best option in this line was the chicken and beef recipe. Oh, look at that cat. It's got the tongue out. The marketing kills me on some of these. All right. So not grain-free and not raw, so we know we're going to get the 2 points there. Scooting on down to this quasi-AFCO statement, complete and balance for maintenance. So there you go. They've got another point for that. We've got the feeding guide over here. So 12 pounds, they're suggesting 2 3/4 to 3/4 of a cup. So let's see, 383. Yep, that's going to get a point there. So again, going into the guaranteed analysis, this is a 4. And let's pull up those numbers that we are aiming for. So again, guaranteed analysis, not dry matter basis in this particular video, because I know when you do the conversion, it is not going to put them over because I looked at these numbers already. I have not done the conversion. But if you are doing this at home and you're learning how to do this, I highly, highly, highly suggest that you do the conversion or you ask for these numbers on a dry matter basis, all of them, when you contact the company. Ease of, not annoying the assistant because she was doing me a good favor by searching their entire portfolio. I did not ask for all the numbers, but that is something that you should do. So classic do as I say, not as I do situation right here. But for Feline Friday, we're kind of focusing on something else, right? So protein, 32, so a little bit higher than some of the other options, but still perfectly fine and perfectly great. And so they're going to get a point there. Fat at 15, a little bit of the higher fat because it's not a hairball control or a weight control, still going to be fine, going to get a point there. Fiber at 3%, they're actually going to get a point because we're not worried about that fiber content to help with hairballs or weight control, so they're going to get a point there. So they're already at an 8 before we get into the minerals. Now, they don't list the minerals on the guaranteed analysis, and that's where my email comes in. And so what they provided to me said that the calcium on a dry matter basis was 1.08. So that's going to be okay because, again, we're not deducting for 100th of a point. So they're going to get a point there. And then the phosphorus was 0.96. So they aren't going to get the point for the phosphorus because it was slightly elevated on that one. So this is going to bring this up to a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As well. So we have triple 8s here. So triple 8s on Iams. I think those are some good options. Let's see what the price is going to be on this one. There it is. Can't miss it. It's the funny tongue cat. All right, so they don't have the same size bags. They've got a couple different size bags. You can buy the 6-pound bag for $18.98 for the bag one time, or $12.34 for auto ship. That's not bad. $3.17 a pound. They don't have the 15-pound bag, so So those are your options there. So that was Iams. I think those are some good dry options for you guys that are searching maybe for a readily available food you can pick up at the grocery store or the pet store or a local store. Also, you can get it shipped to you. Nowadays a lot of people can, if you're internet savvy, can have things shipped. So I think this is a good option all the way around. Again, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not recommending foods. People ask me, what foods are falling in these parameters as we're looking and we're learning and we're trying to find foods that fall in that range. And so I didn't have a lot of options. And so I just kind of am searching for those options. Obviously, I'm not recommending you change your food. If your pet's having a medical condition, I recommend that you consult your veterinarian. And so that's the main purpose, opening a dialogue, and so that you can take an intelligent conversation with you to the vet, and your vet knows that it's important to you and that you've been doing research and you guys can be on the same level. So I hope you enjoyed Iams. I hope you will come and hang out with me next week on Thursday, which is Thursday for everyone that is not familiar with our lingo here on the Nutrition Nation. And I hope you will hang out with me again on Feline Friday. If you would like, you can subscribe and ring the bell. It's free, and you'll get notifications when my videos post so that you can join us for fun. All right, guys, I will hang out with you again real soon, and thanks for joining me.